everyone. Sam Rasool here. Thank you so much for your interest in the Green New Deal, what we're doing here in Virginia. We introduced Green New Deal Virginia about 8-9 months ago. We're pretty excited about what's happening nationally and excited about bringing that here to Virginia. This past legislative session, the General Assembly, I serve in the House of Delegates, we introduced a Green New Deal resolution, similar to what you saw at the federal level, just much more compact, focused on a few issues. But the real reason for focusing on a Green New Deal and why we need it is because what we need to do is find the intersectionality of a few circles. So typically what we've seen is in our environmental justice, economic justice, and social justice advocates have come in and have tried to champion a variety of issues, but they've had limited success. And the reason is because individually, these groups are not big enough. So many of you feel like you're big environmental justice advocates or social justice, economic. The problem is your silo doesn't work politically. And we've got to find ways of discussing the intersectionality of all of this as we move forward. So, the enviros, the social justice, and the economic justice, these are our Sierra clubs, our pipeline fighters of the world, NAACP, social justice advocates, SCLC in Virginia, New Virginia Majority, many others, and economic justice, Virginia Poverty Law Center, our unions, our trades. And people think that a Green New Deal is about this big environmental plan, and in fact it is not. It is an intersectionality where we can come together and begin to say, well, we've got two big crises that we've got to face. The disparities in America, our income disparities, the inequalities, number one, and number two is the environmental crisis that we face. And the only way that we're going to be able to make some progress is if we do it in an intersectional way. So if we're going to build solar panels, if we're going to talk about development that is going to be helping the planet, we need to make sure that we're keeping in mind vulnerable communities of color, how are those disparate voices brought in, and at the same time it needs to be used to bring up our working families. And many of the actual big green projects that we've seen that have been successful in the past have not done that. They've operated really well within that silo. So for me, this is a new political movement that is very much needed. Fortunately, in the General Assembly, there have been dozens of folks who have stepped up and said that they support this initiative as we move forward. We've got over 70 organizations across Virginia who have joined the Green New Deal Coalition, which is currently co-chaired by a member of the Sierra Club and the NAACP. And we're making some progress in developing a legislative agenda for this upcoming session and for sessions to come. The challenge for you, branch out of your silo. You can't just talk about the climate crisis alone. You can't just talk about your social justice issues. We have to find a way to have an intersectional conversation, because I tell you, as a legislator, if a member of the Sierra Club and a union or a trade representative, and then a variety of other folks, for example, like the social justice folks coming in, NAACP, if I have all of them coming into my office asking for a policy to change, it's really difficult for me to be able to ignore these three legs of the stool. So I hope you see the value is well beyond an environmental plan and environmental justice, and that is the way we've got to proceed, which means that we're going to have difficult conversations with our union brothers and sisters. Some of them want to build whatever. They may not care that they're building a pipeline because they need to provide for their families, and we need to be sensitive to that. And we need to be sensitive to when we're implementing or pushing for certain policies, that it is treating vulnerable communities respectfully. So I hope you can join us along the way. If you've got questions, I hope you'll visit greennewdealva.com and learn more about all the good work that we're doing. Thanks for your interest in the Green New Deal.